Good day everyone and welcome to part 11 of my 1 tonner build series. What are we doing today? More rust repairs. What a surprise. So in between last episode and this one, I put the left door on the cab. It's lining up pretty nicely, but there's probably a few adjustments that I'm going to have to do, but we'll get into that later. Right now there is something left over on the cab that I need to address. So once we get in here, you can see in this back left corner here, there's a few holes there that I didn't take notice to until a few weeks ago. So gonna have to fix that. But after I fix that, the cab should pretty much be done. So that will be good.
This is a pretty simple repair. All I have to do is take out the rusted out metal and replace it with good metal. So I just cut it out with my tin snips that are probably older than I am. Put a bit of weld through primer on the back of that piece there, waited for it to dry. You can see how bad these seat mounting holes are. That one had a broken bolt in it. The others are filled with silicone, and the seam sealer in the cab doesn't look that great either. So I'm going to have to come back with a bit of seam sealer and do up all these welds that have been done. I sort of rushed welding this piece in because I was pretty excited to get started on the guards, so I blew a few holes through it, but it turned out okay. I just had to fill in the holes that I was blowing. Alrighty, so now that the cab is done, I'm going to move on to the guards. So there's quite a lot going on here. I did buy the rear spare bottom fender replacement parts for this section here. So obviously I need them on both sides. I am going to have to make up this back brace section. Now there's not much to go off here, sadly, but I wish there was more, but it is what it is. So this side's better than this side, so I'm actually gonna have to leave this here for now, and what I'll do is I'll measure it based off of this one. But when I go to do it, I will do this section first, just so that I have like the basis of how deep I need to go. And when I do this section, I'll fit the guards up to the cab. That way I can get the correct length, because obviously I have no corner here to measure off of. Same on this side, so yeah. And then there's quite a few other areas that I need to fix up. So for example, right here, that's cracked, so that's gonna have to be welded up. That's nothing really. Over here, I've already started a bit. I need to replace this bit here, quite a lot of pitting. This side's fine. Now, this guard here has Swiss cheese all over this area, which is pretty annoying, but that's fine. So I'm gonna have to make a whole section. I'm going to try leave these bolt holes as they are. It's not too bad, tiny bit of pitting, but that's important for when you fit up the guard, so I don't want to mess with that, otherwise I might get it wrong. So yeah, I'm going to just cut this section out and replace it. And then on both the guards, the front of them, the front corner, was all bogged up, and it was actually like soldered onto the front end that I had by the previous owner, so that's just lovely. So yeah, I'll have to make pieces for there. On this guard here, it started pitting in the front bonnet edge, so I'm gonna have to cut this out, replace it, and also clean up underneath. And it's pitted a bit there. I might just do a little section there. Now this area here is not too bad. It's actually in pretty good condition. So I think I'm basically just going to leave it, but there are those 3 holes that I have to weld in. Thankfully this still has the bolt holes that go to the front end, like this section here on the leading edge, whereas this one does not. So I'm gonna have to basically
copy that piece and do my bolt holes. And then this section here obviously is a lot worse on this guard, so I will probably do a patch in there somewhere. Now this guard is better in terms of the fender area, so it's actually in pretty good condition, whereas if we go to this guard, it's seen better days. I'm gonna have to fix that up quite a bit. It's also been like bent in. I don't know if that was done on purpose. I doubt it was. And over here it gets really bad, so I'm gonna have to push this out, and obviously when I go to replace this section I need it all to line up. It's bent in quite a bit, so that's pretty annoying. But yeah, you can see also in here there's quite a few rust holes, whereas on this side there's not. So yeah, we'll get all that done in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, hopefully it turns out good.
Now, I don't really know why, but I usually like to get the easiest task done first in whatever I'm doing. So fixing up this guard, I figured this spot here was the easiest to do. All I had to do was get a bit of that 1.5mm thick gauge sheet that I have, put a slight bend in it and weld it in. So I got that done first and moved on to the other areas next. So I spent a fair bit of time trying to think of the best way to make this front edge here, and this is what I came up with. I figured welding this piece in first would give it strength and sort of keep its shape. Little did I know, converting the front end to a twin headlight HZ nose cone would mean that the shape is a bit different from WB to HZ. Now, I thought guards were mostly the same from HQ to WB, but I was very wrong. There's quite a few different guards out there. So yeah, if you guys are looking to do something similar, just make sure you have the right guards, because I didn't realize that they came in different shapes and sizes. So you can see I had to tinker with it a bit to get the sort of right edge there to fit up with the nose cone of the HZ. And then I realized, hold on a second, there's a whole piece missing here, because the WB has a little underpiece that comes up to the guard there. But we'll deal with that later. You can see here I welded in that rare spares rust section underneath where the GTS flutes go. Fitted it up first so that it was in the right spot, and then fully welded it in. So now that I've realized that I have the wrong guards, I had two choices. Either try and fix these to match the HZ front, or buy new ones. And frankly, I was done spending money at this point, so I figured, why not give it a go, see if I can convert these to HZ guards, and it'll sort of test my skills here. So I made up this piece and made up this bottom bit here. I looked at quite a few images on Google to make sure that everything was right, and then tacked it all in. So you can see here that the front is looking pretty good. It's all lining up, and that was the most important thing, trying to get it to line up. And now I've tacked this bottom piece in and put a bolt in it to make sure that it stays put. Then I obviously had to weld it all completely. I'm not going to show you guys that because it's pretty boring watching welding all the time, but yeah, this is the finished result. I think I did a pretty decent job here and happy with the way it turned out. So looking forward to doing the other one. That's probably going to take me another couple of weeks at least. This took me a bit longer than what I expected, but yeah, it was all worth it in the end.
Alright, so that's one guard finished. Very happy with that, I must say. That gap down there is a little suspicious, but I will be fixing that later. Yeah, very happy with the way it turned out though. It's a little sus, especially around here.
in terms of the height difference. I'm not sure why that is. It's sort of like the door needs to come out a bit, but I've tried to adjust the hinges a bit, and yeah, this is sort of the best I could get it. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. See how it turns out later. Got that bottom piece welded up nicely, so it's pretty seamless. Once I go through the filler and paint stage, you probably won't be able to tell. And then this custom piece I made down here worked out actually really good, so happy with that. Got it bolted up to the original points. Yeah, and I feel like you won't even really be able to tell that that's been adjusted. So yeah, filled in all the pinholes. So yeah, you can sort of see, you can't really see on the camera, but my welds are visible. I didn't grind them back in the back part just because no point. I don't really care if you see that. Yeah, so happy with the results, and that will be it for this video. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment and subscribe.